Hello and welcome to this video. This video is about the comparison between the Shoei GT-air and a Adventure, also from Shoei. I'm doing this video in English because it's a more worldwide subject than only mopeds I regularly do. So let's start with why I want to compare these two helmets with each other. Well, they are relatively similar. I have a KTM 1190 Adventure, so it's relatively logical to buy an Adventure helmet. But I don't know, do you really need an Adventure helmet to go off-roading? And I do off-road with my bike. Not now, not much, but I do. So first I bought a new helmet and I choose the GT-air. It's a really nice helmet. I'm wearing it right now. It's the TC6, and I bought this because of course I wanted a full face helmet. I know, of course, that a regular full face helmet is more quiet than an Adventure helmet. So I'm wearing now this GT-air, and I directly notice it's a really good helmet. I like it, it's quiet. If you want to know all the features, just watch another video, but not this one. It has a sun visor. And it's really dark out here now. So the bike I ride right now is a KTM 1190 Adventure. I have the low windscreen on of a R version and in the lowest setting. And why do I say that? It's because of the way the wind reaches my head. And I like this windshield because it's low and the wind gets about here, the rumbling. So not at my helmet. So I can get a relatively clear idea of how much the helmet makes noise. I'm driving now in almost out of the city, and I'm willing to head the highway. That's where it gets more interesting if it is about wind noise. Sorry about that. I have to be quick. So, of course I have this helmet a longer time, but what noticed me most was it's really quiet. If your head is not in the rumbling of a windshield, it is very quiet. This is really nice and snug. That's what I like, because my neck is relatively narrow, and that's something I really missed with my old helmet. So I don't have this piece of chin lap on my helmet right now, because it's really hot outside. It's like, oh, it is not really hot actually, it's 21 degrees, but in this time of year it's really hot, and I actually cannot breathe well enough in this helmet, I must say. I have all the fans open, and if you drive like highway speeds, 140 kilometers an hour, it's fine. But lower speeds, I'm driving now like 50 kilometers an hour, it's a bit, it's not really enough. If it's winter and the air is really cold, you can notice how much cold air is actually in. But in these hot days, it's not super much for me. I've like a little bit more than one finger between the chin bar and my chin, and well, everyone has a different head of course, but it's not very much. And that's why I was very curious about the Adventure of Shoei. And I will put it on my head right now. Let's see if this works right away. Yeah, it worked. Well, the first thing I noticed when I was putting it on my head is that it is lighter. It is, I measured it, 110 grams lighter than the GT-air. And what I also noticed is that the chin strap is a double D and not the quick lock thing. I don't like the quick lock thing. Just give me a double D, it's more safe, it's more racy, it's more badass. What's on? Sorry for that. I'm now driving like 90 kilometers an hour and I directly notice it's louder. It's really louder. I cannot change that. I wish I could, but it's louder. With both helmets I wear earplugs that are custom made for my ears. But I think there's a little bit more wind in here, but I also drive a bit faster. What surprises me, actually what surprises me the most, is that the sun peak doesn't sail at all. If I just look straight, I can, if I want, I can drive 200 kilometers an hour without pulling of the sun peak. That's a real good thing Shoei did there. That's a real good thing. I really like that. So I'm now heading for the highway and it's louder. Yes, it's louder. But what I also notice is that it gives me a lot more air to breathe. I can now put more than 2 fingers, like 2.5, so it's like a finger thickness of advantage for breathing, and that's something you really want for off-roading, because you're getting hot, you're just getting past these cars. So you can breathe a lot better in this helmet, that's for sure. But I think that the wind noise is louder because of that. And what I noticed right now is I'm driving like 130 kilometers an hour. If I look to the left or to the right, my chin catches wind. I call it sailing. And I think also the peak does that a little bit too, because the peak is not designed for wind from the side, of course, because you constantly look in front of you and not at the side. But yeah, that's noticeable, and that's really different between the GT-air and the Adventure. So I hope I can pass these cars so I can drive a little faster. The wind is really hard right now today, so, but it's a test in real life, and well, the real world is not perfect. You can design a helmet that's very quiet if there's no wind, but if there's wind there's always more noise. So I can tell you the GT-air is more quiet in every way. But it's not that the Adventure is really loud. It's for a off-road helmet, or dual sport helmet, or adventure helmet, however you want to call it. It's actually pretty good. And I've not worn a lot of other adventure helmet except for the previous model of this helmet, the DS or Dual Sport of Shoei. That's now actually really old already. But this is way better for actually regular riding. I have a spot to overtake in 3, 2, ah shit, it's a Kia. It's a slow Kia, go out of my way! Out of my way, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, just speeding up here. I'm driving now 200 kilometers an hour. I hope you can hear me. 200, and I can just look straight. I'm sorry. Well, I was telling, I don't know if you could hear it, I was driving 200 kilometers an hour and the wind is perfect on my helmet. Of course it's a little loud, but that's normal at those speeds. So what more difference do I notice? Well, I noticed the more air I can breathe from the chin bar. That's a good plus. That's what I like in all circumstances. That's really a big plus for me. If you drive slow, maybe even if you drive fast. I noticed that the visor is larger. If I just look straight with the GT-air, I cannot see my speedometer. So I have to look like this, just a little bit down. But now if I just roll my eyes down, I can see it. So it's a little bit more wide field of visibility. That's a good plus for me. What also is a very important feature of the Adventure helmet for me is if you choose to ride more off-roading, you can wear goggles, and that's something you really cannot fit in the GT-air. You cannot wear very large goggles, but you can wear goggles. The space between your chin bar and the goggle is not very much, so it's like a comfortable MX helmet. But yeah, you have to remind you that it is an Adventure helmet and not a full MX helmet. And a full MX helmet would give you even more breathability because the vents are always open and it's really cold. It's a cold helmet, a real MX helmet. And if you choose to ride more off-road, this is actually a bit too roadish, if you know what I mean. Roadish, it's not really a word, I know, I'm sorry, but just to come back to what I said earlier, if there are any more difference between the GT-air and the Adventure. Whoa, I'm sorry, this stupid wire, I feel like a cop right now. Roger that, I saw a very fast KTM making a wheelie, just go after him. Okay, roger that. Sorry, just fooling around. Well, more air in the chin bar, more visibility, a sun peak that is really perfect, and the overall ventilation, like for your cooling for your head, is about the same. And it's really a road focused Adventure helmet, and you really have to know that. So there are not very much difference between those helmets actually. They are relatively similar. If you put them next to each other, you can notice that the chin bar is longer. So the shape of the helmet is just a little bit different, and that's why the Adventure helmet is a bit louder. That's just it. So now ask yourself, do you need a Adventure helmet for an adventure type bike? Well, my answer is, in first place, no, because most riders don't off-road their all-road bikes or their Harley Davidsons or their sports bikes or whatever, the crossovers, their multistradas, their KTM Adventures. They don't. I do, but it's not very much. If I be honest, I do like, I think 1% off-road, 99% on-road. that's just what I do. I commute every day with this bike, and I go on a holiday with this bike, and then that 1% I go off-roading, and those are gravel roads. That's not extreme enduro or something, so I can breathe just enough and see just enough with my GT-air. That's fine by me, and those 99% I wear a helmet that I am perfectly fine with. It's quiet, the ventilation is just what I use for it, like the speeds I'm riding, and that's all I need. And if I go off-roading, it's just fine for off-roading. But if I go off-roading way more often, then I would consider like a helmet like this. If you choose to ride like 10 or 20% off-roading, I really consider like a helmet like this, because I think it's actually 20% for off-roading usable and 80% for on-road. That's because of the ventilation is really made for higher speeds, and if you compare it to a really MX helmet, an MX helmet is way more off-roading, for off-roading of course, because of the ventilation. So if you choose to do like 50% off-road, 50% on-road, I'm not sure if this is the bike. Hello, andere motorrider. Andere motorrider. If you drive like 50% off-road, I'm not sure if I want to choose this particular helmet, because it's, for me, for 50% off-road, a bit too warm for really hard off-roading. I really would consider a Klein Krios, it's just how you want to say it, or maybe a Bell Adventure helmet. That's actually a really cheap helmet and really good quality. That's what I heard. It's also a really safe helmet. But I'd say if you go a lot of off-roading, this helmet is not ventilated enough and not cool enough to breathe, and it just doesn't work. I also do off-roading with a KTM 300 EXC, and I really wouldn't like this helmet for that because it's too warm. So if you go off-roading a lot, this helmet is actually too roadish, like I said. Would I recommend this helmet? Yes, because it's freaking cool. And if you just like the looks of it, just buy it. But you have to know that the GT-air is just an overall better helmet, except for really extreme off-road. That is just it. That's my opinion, that's what I felt when I wear this helmet. Well, thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, just ask them. If you like it, thumbs up. If you do not like it, or think it's really useless that somebody like me wonders what difference is between two helmets, then thumbs down. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it. And if you want to see more videos of me and this bike and this helmet and all my clothes, or just ask for it and I'll do it. It's nice. I do it for you guys, and I also like it. I like to do it for you, so it's a win-win situation, right? Okay, bye.